Everyone, Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming. It is the 31st, so it's New Year's Eve. I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy, safe New Year's. Want to do a video here, sort of it is under my Terrain Builders label. Basically, I want to go back. At this time every year, I kind of get nostalgic for stuff I've done in the past. I had lots of videos up over the past, wow, April, May, June, July, August, September, whatever, last 7, 8 months. I did a whole bunch of stuff for the Beasts of War challenge. Built that large building, showed off some stuff I built last year. The Frost and Fist challenge. But there's one I've always kind of haven't really dealt with because it was sort of a proof of concept I was trying to do. And this goes back to the inspiration video I did. I was looking at the way we played battles. You know, how you played your miniature war games on the tabletop. How you had your general 4x4, 6x4, 2x2, depending on the size of the game, and how you put down the static terrain, how you put down your buildings, and those were sort of accessories to your table to make the game more interesting. And I thought, what happens if the terrain became the table? So bear with me on this one. I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to flip to a table down view and show you what I'm talking about. But I was reading through the Dark Elder Codex, the most recent one, and I was thinking, there's just not enough Xenos terrain out there. I mean, we've had some orc stuff, very brief. There's been, but mostly it's just Imperial. Lots, and that's great. The Imperial stuff is fine. It's great stuff, but it's always the same thing. And so I was reading through the Dark Elder Codex, and I realized, this would be pretty cool. Especially when I got to the part about Azrael Vex Rise to Power. Now, for any of you who haven't read the book or you're new to it, he started off life as a slave, apparently, depending. They say there's multiple conflicting origin stories. But he started off as a slave and worked his way up so he had his own cabal. But he couldn't get beyond, say, its glass ceiling. And on the other side of that was the dynasty families, the ones that had power for centuries, for millennia. So he did what any rising psychopath would do. He got the Imperium involved. He stole, I believe it was a Salamander's Forge ship, the Adeptus Astartes chapter, and he pulled it into their realm. And of course, that brought down the Wrath of the Imperium. They came down, almost wiped out completely that ruling tier and left that power vacuum, which Vect and his cabal structure then took over. So it went from this hereditary power to a survival of the fittest. It was really cool. So I was thinking, what would that be like? These Imperial forces charging into Comera. I think that's how I say it. Comera. I've heard a bunch of different ways. If anybody really knows, throw it send me a comment. I don't know. There's so many of those names that are hard to pronounce. A lot of it would probably be fighting in the narrow streets of the lower levels, maybe the big complexes, open areas of higher levels. But even on the spires, there's probably some fighting, and that got me thinking, what would that be like? Where you have lots of empty space, and you're fighting over some very tight areas, right? So I as I said, it was a proof of concept. I kind of went to work on it and said, okay, here we go. We're going to build this terrain that will come, and I decided to do it in sort of like saucer sections, sort of just circles, platforms, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm just going to flip to it now, show you what I mean, and then I'll come back to this view and I'll finish off my rambling. Alright everyone, as we can see here, this is sort of my proof of concept table, as I mentioned earlier. It's just a black sort of felt sheet, sort of the void around the platforms on Comera. 4 platforms there with some interconnecting bridges. These ones, this one here, and this one here, have some designs I took from the Dark Elder Codex. Just made out of simple cardboard from a cereal box. The platforms here themselves aren't attached. As I said, it's kind of a proof of concept, so they're not 100% the way I'd like them. Again, it means I can move these close or as far as I want. That way I could have it limited to, say, this one is only reachable by jump troops or skimmers or what have you.
That one there is one that's been destroyed in some sort of attack or just decay over the years or centuries. And this one I designed to be something of a like webway portal, maybe for troops, right? And I actually have designed some table-specific rules for some of these things. But yeah, so that is what it looks like. Again, it's just sort of a proof of concept to see if this could actually be done. These things are not anywhere near as complete as I'd like them to be. And there you go, the one I designed some sort of guardrails on. You can use as cover. But yeah, that is the table as a whole. And when I flip back around, I'm going to give you a rundown of what inspired this table.
Okay, so I hope now you see what I'm talking about there. So I had the four different sort of platforms with those bridges interconnecting, and so that's modular. In fact, you can move those around any way you want and sort of set up a different table every time. But it does leave you with that sort of a lot of open space and very little to fight over. I did try a small game with a friend of mine, and it worked out pretty well. It also adds a ton of tactical awesomeness to the game because big vehicles are kind of out. You kind of have to rely on jump troops a bit more to get around if you want to get somewhere fast. You have to, or skimmers or anything that can move great distances. And there's a lot of open space, which we kind of did on purpose. You can obviously add uh, any sort of small little obstacles or terrain on there, but it fills up the space quickly, and your armies don't get the room they need. It's really good for small games at this point. I still have some other platforms I need to build in time, I guess. Um, but it was cool, right? It's like I said, it's great for small games. Even Marines had trouble with it. There are rules that I made up for the intervention of Dark Eldar in the area. There were rules for the warp gate there, the webway gate there, where the Dark Eldar could have their reserves come on from there a bit easier and a bit earlier. There are also rules for things like their fighter planes jetting by, stuff like that. They even did one for part of the Crystal Plague that ravaged the Dark Eldar for a while. Um, Again, read the book for that or look it up. It's actually a pretty cool story. But yeah, so that is the table there, and that's sort of the idea one. And again, the inspiration came from multiple things. Uh, a different way of looking at the game. Instead of going, I need to fill a table with a bunch of terrain, the terrain is the table. And then I decided also the inspiration came from reading the fluff. As I said before, that's what gets me, the fluff. I love it. You can grab so many ideas from just reading a few backstories here and there. I mean, that's why they put the timelines in the books and why a number of them are just empty. You just get a name. You can make up whatever you want for that, or you can refight any of those old battles. I mean, it's just there's just a whole wealth of cool background fluff that you can draw. You draw your inspiration for your armies from. Um, Even from the weirdest places. I mean, I remember reading the Crimson Slaughter supplement codex, and being inspired. Never actually did it because I just didn't have the time. Inspired to build the Crimson Sabers, which was the predecessor, fourth company that stayed loyal while the Crimson Slaughter went rogue. It'd be cool to build this small, cursed, loyal but completely excommunicated Adeptus Astartes chapter, right? It's really cool stuff. Again, just read the fluff, dive in wherever you can, find cool information, and go from there. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I just want to show you guys off that I always get at this time of year. I always get a little reflective. I look back on the stuff I've done. I started building this stuff just after Christmas last year, just after New Year's. I had time off before school started, and so I decided to build it up, and it was a lot of fun. And I hope this inspires you guys to try looking at the game a different way, inspires you to come up with your own tables, right? One of the things that I think kind of got lost, if I may, over the years is Games Workshop always said, do whatever you want to do with the game. The rules are guidelines, have fun with them, but build your own stuff. Go crazy with it. And so I want you guys to do that. That's one of the things I'm going to try and do in the new year. Just try different things. I'm going to keep working on my Space Wolf / Ultramarine army. I'm going to be posting stuff on the Instagram. my Instagram there about with Black Templars. They're getting a big push now, obviously with the Fall Acadia, them being central to it. So I'm gonna put that out there, and but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I might even combine all three armies in a massive sort of anti-chaos crusading army, try and take on all comers with this thing. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The only other thing I want to talk about is scheduling. Um, over the last what 8, 9, 10 months, however long it's been, I'm bad at counting months. Um, my videos have been all over the place, and so what I've decided to do, especially with the schedule I have now for my next semester, is every Monday, starting not this Monday coming up, that would be the second or third Sunday is, yeah, the second. I won't be doing video then. Starting on the 9th of January, every Monday, I'm going to put out a video. That allows me time to get videos made, work it into the schedule with everything else I have to do, and that way you guys know when my stuff's coming out. And I get to avoid having the events like I did just over the last couple of months where it was like 2, 3, 4 weeks between videos. And I think I owe it to you guys. You guys have supported me. I can't thank you enough for that. I love you all for the support you've given me, the help. So it's only fair that I kind of give you a scheduled time. If I can get other videos out at the same time, that's a bonus. But so starting on the 9th of January, every Monday there will be a video. I promise you that is my word to you guys, my fans, my followers, my friends. So yeah, until next time, guys, I'm going to sign off. Have a happy new year and keep rolling those dice.